Look up at the stars on a clear, quiet night. What do you feel? For most of human history, that shimmering canopy of light has represented infinite possibility. We look at the dark spaces between the stars and imagine an endless ocean of worlds waiting to be explored. We dream of a distant future where humanity stretches its reach across the cosmos, hopping from star to star, galaxy to galaxy, conquering the unknown. But what if that entire vision is a beautiful, deeply comforting illusion? What if the universe has already drawn a silent, impenetrable line in the dark, a boundary that no human, no machine, and no future civilization will ever be able to cross? There is a quiet, terrifying truth hidden in the cold mathematics of our reality. We are not free to explore the cosmos. We are permanently stranded, are trapped inside a cosmic island, surrounded by an ocean of nothingness that is growing larger and faster with every passing second. Welcome to the ultimate prison of physics. To understand the walls of our cage, we first need to understand the island we inhabit. If you were to somehow leave your physical body, zoom out from the Earth, fly past the gas giants of our solar system, and pierce through the glittering spiral arms of the Milky Way, you would arrive at our true neighborhood. It is a massive gravitational structure known as the local group. This is our cosmic territory. It consists of our home, the Milky Way, our massive neighbor Andromeda, the smaller Triangulum Galaxy, and a swirling swarm of roughly 50 dwarf galaxies. It is a vast archipelago of stars, bound together by an invisible web of dark matter, floating alone in an ocean that is quietly pulling itself apart. By human standards, this territory is incomprehensibly vast. It spans roughly 10 million light-years in diameter. Even if you were moving at the absolute speed limit of the universe, the speed of light itself, it would take you 10 million years just to cross from one end to the other. At first glance, this does not feel like a prison. It feels like an endless playground, a domain large enough to house trillions of civilizations, endless empires, and immortal technologies. But you have to view it on a cosmic scale. When you look at the observable universe, a sprawling web of 2 trillion galaxies spanning 93 billion light-years, the local group is reduced to a microscopic speck of dust. It is nothing more than a single grain of sand on a beach that stretches beyond the horizon. And the terrifying reality is that this single grain of sand is the only part of the beach we will ever be allowed to touch. The force keeping us trapped here is not a physical wall of matter. It is not a barrier of intense heat or a field of lethal radiation. It is something much stranger and much more insidious. It is the very fabric of space itself. In the late 1990s, astronomers made a discovery that profoundly shattered our understanding of existence. They were observing the light from distant supernovas. Trying to measure how much the expansion of the universe was slowing down due to the inward pull of gravity, they expected to find a universe that was gently coasting, exhausted from the energy of the Big Bang. Instead, they found the exact opposite. The expansion was not slowing down, but it was accelerating. Some invisible, relentless force was actively pushing the cosmos apart. We call it dark energy. We do not know what it is. We do not know where it comes from. But we know exactly what it is doing. It is stretching the empty space between galaxies, and it is doing it with increasing violence. Think of the universe as a giant loaf of raisin bread baking in a cosmic oven. As the dough expands, the raisins are pushed further and further apart. Now imagine you are standing on one of those raisins. The raisins closest to you are moving away relatively slowly, but the raisins on the exact opposite side of the loaf, they are moving away much faster, simply because there is far more expanding dough between you and them. In our universe, there is a physical threshold where the amount of space between us and a distant galaxy is so immense that the space itself is expanding faster than the speed of light. This does not violate the laws of physics. Einstein taught us that no object can travel through space faster than light. But space itself has no such speed limit. It can stretch, bend, and expand as fast as it wants. And this runaway expansion creates a terrifying boundary all around us, a cosmic event horizon, spherical wall in the deep dark where the universe is literally moving away from us, faster than light can travel towards us. This leads us to a deeply disturbing revelation. Right now, as you listen to these words, there are roughly 2 trillion galaxies shimmering in the observable universe. But we can only ever reach about 6% of them. 94% of the universe that we can currently see through our most powerful telescopes is already gone. It is a cosmic ghost town. The light from those distant galaxies is still hitting our mirrors, showing us what they looked like billions of years ago, but the galaxies themselves have already crossed the cosmic event horizon. Even if we left Earth today, in a ship traveling at the absolute speed of light, we could never, ever catch up to them? The space between us is expanding faster than we could ever travel. They are forever beyond our grasp, locked away in an unreachable dimension of space-time.
And the situation is rapidly getting worse. Every single second, the expansion of the universe accelerates. Every second, tens of thousands of stars slip beyond the cosmic horizon, permanently vanishing from our physical reach. With every breath you take, the reachable universe gets a little bit smaller. Entire galaxies filled with billions of stars, countless planets, and perhaps even alien observers looking back in our direction are being erased from our future forever. It is a slow, silent, methodical erasure of reality. We are watching the doors of the universe close, one by one, and there is absolutely nothing we can do to stop it. Imagine the sheer psychological terror of attempting to reach them. Let use assume. Far in the future, humanity builds the ultimate vessel, a ship powered by antimatter engines, capable of continuous acceleration until it hits 99.9% the speed of light. We launch this marvel of engineering toward a distant galaxy in the Virgo cluster. For the crew inside, time begins to dilate. Decades pass for them, while millions of years pass back on Earth. But no matter how fast they push their engines, the empty void ahead of them is actively being created out of nothing. It is the equivalent of running full speed on a treadmill that is infinitely accelerating. The galaxy they are desperately aiming for is receding from them faster than their ship can close the distance. They are no longer racing against distance. They are racing against the fundamental fabric of reality itself. And reality always wins. They would travel for billions of years, utterly alone, only to find themselves stranded in the endless void, forced to watch their destination dim, turn a deep crimson red, and eventually blink out of existence. This process of fading away is already visible to our most advanced instruments. Astronomers call it Cosmological Redshift. As space stretches, it literally stretches the light waves traveling through it. Light radiating from distant galaxies is pulled and distorted, its wavelength increasing, shifting toward the red end of the electromagnetic spectrum. As the galaxy recedes faster and faster, its light stretches even more. It becomes infrared, then microwaves, then stretched into low-energy radio waves. Eventually, the light stretches entirely flat. It loses all of its energy. The visual image of the galaxy fades to absolute black. It is a chilling thought. Billions of entire civilizations could be screaming into the void, broadcasting their existence, their art, their history, but their signals are stretched into absolute silence before they ever reach our solar system. It is not that the galaxy ceases to exist. Whole civilizations might be thriving there, building monuments, studying their own sky, fighting their own wars. But their light can no longer reach us. They are quarantined behind the horizon, permanently severed from our timeline. We are being systematically isolated by the universe itself. To truly grasp the horror of this cosmic isolation, you have to picture the profound emptiness that awaits us outside our island. Beyond the gravitational safety of the local group, there are vast cosmic voids, deserts of absolute nothingness, hundreds of millions of light years across. If you were somehow teleported into the middle of the boat's void, the darkness would be so complete, so suffocatingly absolute. that you wouldn't even know other stars existed unless you had advanced telescopic equipment. There would be no Milky Way glowing softly in the night sky, no neighboring stars to navigate by, just an abyssal, terrifying black ocean. Now realize that this expanding void is eventually going to be everywhere. Dark energy is turning the entire universe into an endless boat's void. It is isolating every cosmic structure, tearing the grand web of reality into shredded, lonely islands floating in the dark. What does this mean for humanity? What does it do to the human psyche to know we are physically trapped? We are a species that has spent its entire history drawing maps. First, we mapped our local valleys. Then we braved the oceans to map our continents. Then we looked up to map our solar system. The implicit promise of map-making is that whatever you can chart, whatever you can see, you can eventually travel to. But modern cosmology has fundamentally broken that promise. It has drawn a map of reality that comes with a hard, impenetrable boundary. For the first time in human history, we are forced to confront an absolute limit. Not a limit of engineering, not a limit of fuel, resources, or political will, but a limit of physics itself. It is deeply unsettling. It violently strips away our illusion of infinite dominance and expansion. It forces humanity to look in the mirror and accept our sheer, terrifying insignificance. We are not the masters of the cosmos. We are merely temporary passengers on a sinking ship, helplessly watching the distant shores recede into the impenetrable fog. So, what remains? What is the final fate of our existence? Only our island, the local group. Because the galaxies in our immediate cosmic neighborhood are close enough together, their mutual gravity is strong enough to fight back against the repulsive force of dark energy. The Milky Way and Andromeda are currently locked in a gravitational dance, pulling each other closer despite the expansion of space around them. In about 4 billion years, they will finally collide. It will not be a violent, destructive crash, but a slow, spectacular, millions of years-long merging of hundreds of billions of stars. Eventually, they will settle into a single, massive, blindingly bright elliptical galaxy. Astronomers have already named it Milkomeda. This giant mega-galaxy, along with the remnants of the smaller dwarfs that orbit it, will be our final, permanent fortress against the dark. Our ultimate cosmic island. But the story of our universe takes an even darker turn. Fast forward 100 billion years into the future. By this time, dark energy will have completed its silent, devastating work. The expansion of space will have pushed every other galaxy, every other cluster, every other structure in the universe so far away that their light can no longer overcome the stretching of space. They will have all crossed the horizon. They will disappear completely. Imagine being a conscious being, part of a highly advanced civilization born on a planet in hundreds of billions of years in the future. You look up at the night sky. You see the stars of your own massive galaxy shining brightly, a beautiful swirl of local light. But beyond them, nothing, just endless, suffocating, perfectly empty blackness. You build massive telescopes. You send out deep space probes. You study the heavens for thousands of generations, but you find absolutely nothing outside your own galaxy. The universe will appear entirely empty. These future beings will have no way of knowing that other galaxies ever existed. They will have no way of knowing about the Big Bang, or the cosmic microwave background radiation, or the sprawling web of the ancient universe we see today. The fundamental evidence of our cosmic history will be permanently, irreversibly erased. They will study physics and conclude that their lonely, glowing island of stars is the entirety of existence. They will be entirely trapped in a microscopic pocket of a dead universe, and they will not even know it. This chilling future forces a profound existential realization upon us right now. We are living in a deeply, incredibly privileged era of time. We are alive at the exact, fleeting moment in cosmic history when the universe is old enough to form complex, conscious life, but young enough that the evidence of its grand, sprawling structure is still visible in the night sky. We get to see the cosmic web. We get to measure the afterglow of creation. We get to understand where we came from, and terrifyingly, where everything is going. We are the lucky few who get to witness the fading echoes of a dynamic universe. We are the universe experiencing its own dawn, fully aware that an eternal twilight is inevitable. Yet, this privilege comes with an agonizing sense of limitation. To gaze up at an infinite sky, armed with the profound knowledge of how vast it truly is, only to realize we are physically, mathematically barred from ever touching it. The human mind evolved to overcome boundaries. We crossed raging oceans. We mapped frozen continents. We walked on the desolate surface of the moon. We have always believed that with enough time, enough ingenuity, and enough technology, we could reach anywhere. But the universe does not care about our ambition. The laws of physics are completely indifferent to human curiosity. We cannot build a ship that outruns the expansion of space itself. We cannot engineer our way out of a dissolving universe. We are bound to this island, entirely at the mercy of immense, silent forces we can barely comprehend. Perhaps, though, there is a strange comfort to be found in our permanent confinement. The local group is not a small prison. It is incomprehensibly rich. Even if we are confined to just the merged remnants of the Milky Way and Andromeda, that still leaves us with well over 1 trillion stars. 1 trillion entire solar systems. Trillions of planets, moons, asteroids, and nebulas. It is enough space to explore for millions of generations. It holds enough energy and resources to sustain a civilization until the very end of time itself. If we must be trapped, we are trapped in a golden cage, glittering with more beauty, danger, and complexity than the human mind could ever fully map or understand. The terrifying scale of the expanding universe should not make us feel meaningless. It should not plunge us into despair. Instead, it should make us deeply realize how impossibly precious this exact moment is. We are awake in a fading cosmos, standing on a tiny, fragile rock, looking out into the grand dark. Before the lights inevitably go out, we cannot conquer the universe. We cannot claim the distant, receding galaxies before they slip away into the void. But we can understand them. We can observe them. We can hold the entirety of the cosmos in our minds, even if we can never hold it in our hands. And perhaps, in a cold universe dictated by rigid physics and relentless expansion, that act of conscious understanding is the most powerful and rebellious thing we can possibly do. Our physical reach may be strictly limited. Our cosmic island may be our absolute final boundary. But as long as we keep looking up, as long as we keep asking questions of the dark, our minds will remain forever unbound. Thank you for exploring the profound mysteries of the dark with us today. If this journey through the fading cosmos changed the way you see the night sky, take a moment to leave a like, Share your existential thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe for more deep atmospheric wanderings into the unknown. Until next time, keep your eyes on the stars. We are not truly alone as long as we look together.